Good evening, my friends. My name is Lamajig Migyatso. This is the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to the Advanced Tuesday Night Webinar, Studs Only. Dr. Darren Testani, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you.
You look good in your new cowl.
Oh, thanks.
So how did you celebrate the new year?
In bed, asleep.
You beat me too when you said in bed. I was going to say, you dog.
Sleeping dog.
And me too. I don't see the point of staying up late and waking up the next morning feeling sleep deprived. I don't see the point of that at all.
I've been there, but I'm getting over a flu. Was just not willing to stay up. Needed the rest.
Smart man. Smart man. Gail, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. Happy New Year, Gail.
Happy New Year, Darren.
So I'm very sad that you were ill for so long. Very good to have you back.
Thanks. Yeah.
Have you any contemplative questions for me?
I've learned how to turn into the Hulk, and I need to learn how to turn back into Bruce Banner.
That's excellent. Let's take a look at that right now. So I'm going to go into a screen sharing mode.
Okay.
We're going to turn to tonight's practice text, which I call Ox Surfing.
Okay.
The Chan practitioners and the Zen practitioners have a series of one-panel comics or brush drawings called Ox Herding. But that's really missing the point of old Lao Tzu. So I call it Ox Surfing, because when you look at this here statue, good old Lao Tzu has not placed a bit in the ox's mouth nor a bridle over its head. He's just along for the ride.
Okay.
But what I really want to bring everyone's attention to is everyone's favorite chart, the 12 elemental permutations. There they are. So, in the past, an excellent way of getting in touch with our inner Hulk is to access, in this order, our cardinal earth, and then our fixed water, and then our fixed fire, and concluding with our fixed earth. Tonight, we're going to hit all 12 houses, starting with the feet and working up to the crown. That is really good. And so what's also really nice to do, if you have the time, is after doing all 12, starting with the 12th house and working up to the first house, is then go back and hit the fixed elements again. Fixed air again, fixed water again, fixed fire again, and fixed earth again. And you'll notice that these 4 additional permutations are all fixed. So we're not doubling down on cardinal earth, which can make one a bit testy. So I hope this makes sense. My goal is to keep this class under 60 minutes. So before we jump in, did that make sense, or do you have any questions? Okay. Excellent, Darren, you read my mind. Beautiful. So let's begin by setting a very positive, loving intention. We're going to choose the triplet chant. May each being everywhere practice simplicity, patience, and compassion spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. These 3 things, simplicity, patience, and compassion, are the 3 treasures of the Tao Te Ching. Spontaneity, habituation, ease, and effectiveness are what separate the novice from the master. The path is paved with simplicity, patience, and compassion. Enlightenment or sagehood is described by these 4 attributes right here. So let's begin by grabbing our mala, or better yet, just simply touching the tip of our left middle finger to its thumb, thereby accessing mutable water. And now let's chant the 74th chapter of the Tao Te Ching using the bookend chant. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you are not afraid of dying, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you will cut yourself. And nobody wants to cut themselves. So there was a promise that, and I just closed it. So let's jump back. If you are not afraid of dying, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Well, that's a tall order. How do we do that? By at least twice a day practicing noticing and relaxing. That can help us that can melt the iceberg-like rigidity within us that resists the inevitable, and can help us be more flowy, more acquiescent. So let's meditate let's count our mala on our left middle finger. I'm going to do a quarter mala. We're going to begin with some very easy contemplations, house sitting, relaxing. How deep breath, and that's just bad grammar for how deep am I breathing. Sometimes it's good to conserve the syllables. How deep breath, relaxing. There we go. For the remainder of the quarter mala, we're going to hang out with notice this, relaxing. gaze upon the yellow banner at the top of the page and we read both index fingers. So let's do that right now. And let's chant. Tao Te Ching chapter 75. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit, trust them, leave them alone. And now, just like before, this time we're going to count our mala upon our right index finger, while our left index finger is content to merely touch its thumb. Our job is not to argue with our problems. Our job is not to acquiesce to our problems. Our job is not to solve our problems. When a problem, real or imagined, starts dancing across the stage of our mind, just notice it on the in-breath and relax on the out-breath. That's it. We're just an audience member. So gaze upon the yellow ribbon at the top of the screen. We see right ring finger. So let's touch the right ring finger to its thumb. Left hand makes a flipper. And now we chant a bit of the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching chapter 76. Men are born soft and supple, dead they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and lion, dead they are brittle and dry. Thus whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. Hard and, sorry, I forgot a word. The hard and stiff will be broken, the soft and supple will prevail. That is profoundly important. The Tao is not the path of Yang, it's the path of Yin. It's circuitous and yielding and pliant That might not seem heroic, but it is. Counting our mala upon our right ring finger. As you gaze upon the highlighted ribbon at the top of the page, you read left little finger. Let's chant. Tao Te Ching chapter 77. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward, the bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what is not enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect the power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who do not have enough and give to those who have far too much. The sage can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and does not think that she is better than anyone else. That is a powerful, powerful passage, especially in view of the recent budget that was passed just a week or so ago. The way of the Tao is to take from those who have far too much and make sure that those who have far too little are given a hand up, and that their needs that can be met are met. Some diseases are incurable, but most are not incurable. In this country, I forgot, there was approximately 10 vacant homes for every one homeless person. Our country has the ability to meet the real legitimate needs of all its citizens. It just lacks the will. It's been said in the Tao Te Ching that that if a country wishes to prosper, it must honor the Tao. Well, in Indonesia, I think it's Indonesia, one of those countries over that neck of the woods, they've got the Bagua cauldron printed on their coins. Good intention, but I think they mean more than just having "In God We Trust" on our dollar bills. We really must, if we wish to prosper, both as a nation and as individuals, we really must embrace a generous, loving heart. Let's now continue with our meditation, counting upon our left little finger. For the next exercise, I think it'd be fun to play with a variation of the breathing exercise. All right, the ribbon instructs us both middle fingers, so let's do just that. Let's turn our attention to the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching chapter 78. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water, yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. Oopsie. The soft overcomes the hard, the gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Just last night, I was watching something on Netflix. It was called Lonely Planet or something Planet?
Something Earth.
Okay, something Earth from the BBC.
Yeah.
And they showed how sand, which is terribly soft, can erode great big hard stones. So the same thing, just a bit drier. Therefore the sage remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart. Because he has given up helping, he is people's greatest. All true words seem paradoxical. So let's go back for a second. This is a really important part. Therefore the sage remains serene even in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart. Yes, this is a cliche. Brace yourself, Darren. Into each life some rain must fall. No one makes it through a full life without having tasted disappointment, without having tasted loss, without having tasted sorrow. All of us are familiar with that. Well, as a matter of fact, as I was meditating here tonight, I was having flashbacks to a Valentine's Day breakup. Oh my goodness, what wretched timing. But at least it was raining hard. Well, so at least nature was in congruence with the misfortune that befell me that day. All of us have been broken. Some of us, we've each been the breaker and the breakee. We know what rejection feels like. And we know what it's like to stand on the precipice and say, I won't be sad. I'll be angry. I'm going to harden my heart. I'm not going to let this hurt me. And that just creates more problems, more dilemmas. It takes so much more courage to choose a vulnerability, to say, yes, right now I'm feeling horrible. Let's explore that. Let's give myself permission to feel what I feel, regardless of whether it is reality-based or not, regardless of whether it's rational or not, or realistic or not. Let us be completely vulnerable in our mindfulness, but not just stay there. We also got to let go. We got to relax. Mindfulness alone won't do it. We continue reading. Because he was given up helping, he is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. I'm reminded of a passage from the Christian New Testament. The first episode of John, it reads, let the Spirit do its work. So many times with the best of intentions, we're just too yang, we're aggressive, we're forceful, we're manipulative, we're overbearing. There's a very good-hearted young man who wants to change the world through zero waste compost management, which is a beautiful notion. Yay, sustainability. But if we treat people like vampires and sustainability like a great sharp steak, and we try hammering it through their hearts, for some reason they might not be responsive. So we must be gentle. You must be gentle in all we do. Now let's continue with our chanting. I ran out of stuff to chant. Time to do some silent meditation. Time for Jigme to stop flapping his jaws. If you feel that it's stifling, you can open the door. Oh, okay. If you're fine, that's great. The next golden ribbon reads right index finger. And maintaining this gesture, let's chant the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching chapter 79. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no one to the blame. And therefore the sage fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. In the book, or in Michael Crichton's book, Rising Sun, he insists that Japanese say, fix the problem, not the blame. It's so very important to not only be centered in our spontaneity, but to be vulnerable to the results that we generate. The more defensive we are, the more excuses we dream up why it's not our fault, the more resistant we are to our own evolution. The more vulnerable we are to the results that we generate, the more rapidly we'll learn and evolve and grow. Let us not use our shortcomings or our quote-unquote failures as an excuse to jump back into the contrived mind. We know where that road leads. We don't want to go there. Forsaking both contrivance and chaos, let us surrender to the centered spontaneity that is profoundly vulnerable and continue with the meditation. As we look to the golden ribbon, we are directed to touch the tip of our left ring finger to its thumb. We now turn our attention to the Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching chapter 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants are content. Stop right there. So, men, How do you know if you're doing a good job as a boyfriend or a husband? Well, look at your wife or your girlfriend. Is she happy? Then you're probably doing something right. If she's sullen, miserable, or surly, then you're probably doing something wrong. Let's continue. They enjoy the labor of their hands and do not waste their time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they are not interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these do not go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy the food, take pleasure in being with our families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of their neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. So let's take a moment to really consider this. I remember really being drawn to the spiritual path. And then I remember in my 20s, it felt like the world was working really hard to show me the error of my ways, and that what I really needed was money, money, money. That's what I needed. Goals and their accomplishment. Go, go, go. Push, push, push. Maybe that was just the 80s, or maybe that's just the way the world works, but there's a whole lot of young energy out there. You know what I do when I accomplish a goal? No, what's that? I set another one. Ha ha ha. Great. That's a lot of yang energy. And while people are shucking and jiving, trying to make things happen, their lives are flowing away like sand through an hourglass. They may accomplish their goals, they may not. The things that really, really matter, peace, love, tenderness, the simple pleasures of life, can be lost in the cattle stampede of our wildest ambitions. What's an antidote for that, you may ask? Oh, look, meditation. Let's do that right now. As we gaze up to the yellow ribbon, we read to touch each little finger to its thumb. Let's do that as we chant. Whoops, wrong button. Tao Te Ching chapter 81. True words are not eloquent, eloquent words are not true. Wise men do not need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point are not wise. Let's stop right there for a second and discuss what I like to call malarkey. I found there to be a direct ratio. The more reasons people give you to justify their behavior, they're full of malarkey. You don't have to justify a good act. You don't have to justify giving your sweetheart a flower or patting a puppy on the head. These things are self-evident. But denying medical care to, poor people, you have to go into store for that in a vain effort to justify it. Because the short and sweet answer is the reason I'm letting your dad die of a curable disease is because I'm a greedy bastard. That's just inconvenient. So people come up with these great, long reasons, deep, bullshitty reasons to do horrible things. But that's not necessary. It's just so much simpler to do the right thing and be a man or woman of few words. A bit like a spiritual John Wayne. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing, by not dominating. The master leads. By the way, in answer to Darren's question at the beginning of the webinar, we played with a chart in a practice text. Both the practice text, Ox Surfing, as well as this adaptation of the Tao Te Ching are available for free download on the website. Just find the link below in the doodly-doo. Let's continue. Now, you may get bored during meditation. Don't repress that. Don't indulge and get off your meditation manual. Meditation cushion. Whoops. Use a simple antidote, and that is contrived counting, where on the in-breath you mentally recite 1, on the out-breath you mentally recite 1, on the in-breath you mentally recite 2, on the out-breath you mentally recite 2, and so on, until one of two things happens. Either A, you found it an interesting idea or memory or fantasy pops into your head that you can go and meditate on. Or B, you just hit a wall and you just can't count anymore, and then you can just relax in meditation. Anywho, that contrived counting is an excellent antidote to boredom and restlessness. As we gaze up into the yellow ribbon, we read right middle finger. Let's touch that bad boy to its thumb and chant a bit of the old Tao Te Ching. Tao Te Ching Chapter 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. You know, I've only been chanting this 20 years. Give me a break. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. We're told, or we're taught in the first chapter, the key to wisdom is not upon the yang path of striving and reaching for the answers for our questions, but on the yin path of centering and acquiescing and yielding. And it is to that to which our intuition or our collective unconscious reveals itself and opens up like a blossoming rosebud. This brings us to the final the final quarter of tonight's meditation. If you find yourself getting drowsy, I recommend you meditate with your eyes open. Whoopsie. As we gaze within the yellow ribbon, we see a left index finger. Let us chant. Ching chapter 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and not being create each other, difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other, high and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Oh, what a lovely lyrical way of exploring interdependence. Let's continue. Therefore the sage acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come, things disappear and she lets them go. She has but does not possess, acts but does not expect. When her work is done she forgets it, that is why it lasts forever. So, in the name of beating a dead horse, it can be argued that the path of yang, the path of making it happen, is really more of a commentary on how little power we think we have. The opposite may also be true, that those who are happy to do very passive actions are confident that good things are going to happen because they have an increased awareness of the profundity of interdependence. It has been said that a butterfly in a park in Beijing in the morning, articulating its wings to dry them, can set in motion a chain of events that affects a weather system halfway around the world. People more eloquent than I call that the butterfly effect. It's not a question of faith, it's a question of physics. A child is petulant. Children throw tantrums. They scream until they turn beet red. They cry furious, hot tears. Children don't have much power. Sadly, some adults are equally petulant. And they may accomplish some things, but it's very short term and very not long lasting. The rewards they receive, if any, are usually attached to dopamine and not serotonin. They're attached to pleasure and not real happiness. We read both ring fingers, and now we chant. Now teaching chapter 3. If you overesteem great men, the people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, the people begin to steal. The sage leads by emptying people's mouths and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. Not doing here can be, which can refer to the Japanese term wu wei wu, doing without doing, is a commentary on or reference to centered spontaneity. That is the simplicity that's considered one of the 3 treasures of the Tao. This brings us to the final elemental permutation of the evening, tip of right little finger to its thumb. And so we chant. Tao Te Ching chapter 4. The Tao is like a well used but never used up. It is like the eternal void filled with infinite possibilities. Notice we're not saying it is the eternal void, we're saying it's like the eternal void. It's important not to confuse a literal statement with a simile, no less, a metaphor. Let's continue. It is hidden but always present. I do not know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. Aha. I'll tell you, reciting this in some parts of town will get your ass kicked. Let's conclude tonight's session with a very positive recitation. We'll use once again the triple chants. May each being, let's try this again. May each being have a healthy body, a long life, a fortune, a rebirth. Rapidly complete their training, be of profound benefit to each being. May each being everywhere practice simplicity, patience, and compassion spontaneously, habitually, easily, and effectively. Congratulations, Darren, you made it. Please open your microphone. Okay, before I let you meet with your hot date with the pillow, have you any questions for me?
No, I don't. Thanks you for asking.
You're utterly welcome. And I wish you a healthy and happy and fortunate new year.
Great, thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye now.
Bye, good night.
Good night.
And by the way, if you're still watching and you had plenty of questions, then you may want to participate in the next series of live weekly webinars from the very beginning. If that interests you, then by all means, check out the link in the doodly-doo below. Bye-bye now.